ride's only just beginning, everyone. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-hosts Lauren, Bruce, and Kayla, and today we are doing the second half of Sonic's campaign in the dreaded, fabled Sonic 06 of Legend of...
Yeah, as always, Kayla's here. Kayla's always been here.
It's always for now.
Here, lurking in the background, waiting.
I mean, with how many times I've mentioned you, you might as well have always been here.
Yeah, this is the lore payoff to our series.
Kind of, in a way, yeah.
Anyway.
A figment of everybody's imagination.
Unfortunately, your existence means you have to talk about Sonic 06 with us.
That's fine.
That's how it works.
Anyway, last time on Dragon Ball Z, we talked about the first half of Sonic's story. We got through the first 5 stages and the boss after the 5th one, and it was something. Yeah. But this time we were doing the second half of that story, and so last time we left off, we beat the Iblis Worm in a very, very exhausting boss battle.
True.
Yeah.
And now we have 2 Chaos Emeralds. Team Sonic and Shadow, they did their best, and they got the Emeralds.
And those together are sufficient.
Yes.
Apparently, yeah.
Because apparently, if 2 people activate Chaos Control with Chaos Emeralds at the same time, that creates a time portal?
Rip the time stones, I guess.
Yeah.
That was just a little plan.
I guess.
Probably, but I am not...
Still...
I'm not a fan of giving the Chaos Emeralds time travel powers on top of everything else.
Same. You already have rocks that, in theory, have time travel capabilities. Just use them.
Well, that's not even my problem. It's just that, like, the Chaos Emeralds did not need to be more powerful and useful.
I mean, well, yeah. I get that. I just think, like, as I said, you already have other MacGuffins that, in theory, could do the same thing. Why not give the general MacGuffins, or why give the general MacGuffins more power?
Convenience.
I mean, okay, so,
yeah, convenience.
Yeah, I think the thing is that it's just 2 of them. That's, like, not a very high bar. Like,
that's also a good point.
With 1 Chaos Emerald, you can already manipulate time a little bit.
Sure.
But I feel like you could, like, if you're going to say, oh, you can travel through time with the Chaos Emeralds, at least make it have to be all 7.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, you have to go super to be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be a huge fan of Super Sonic being able to time travel on top of everything he can do, too, but it's at least a requirement.
Exactly. It would at least make more sense than being, oh, go grab 2 rocks.
Well... And in this game, it's very contrived because every time a time portal shows up in this game, it just conveniently goes to wherever the writers feel like. Whether they make it on purpose, whether they have a specific place in mind, it's just whatever.
It kind of... Well, okay, I mean, the fact that it always conveniently works for the plot, yeah, but it makes sense, I think, that the time portals kind of just go all over the place. I mean, there are Chaos Emeralds, after all.
I mean... I'm not saying that it shouldn't be able to go anywhere. I'm saying that there's one point later in this game where Silver and Shadow create a time portal by accident that conveniently leads to exactly where the plot needs.
No, I meant it that when you try to use it to travel through time, it's chaotic and you don't know where the destination is. I was putting aside the fact that it always happens to work out nicely.
Yeah. Anywho. So Sonic and the gang are gonna go back, but something stops Shadow and Rouge from going back. Ooh, I wonder what it could be.
Check it out later in there.
Yeah, we don't get to find out in this playthrough.
Yeah, the game doesn't care right now.
Instead, Sonic and the gang touch back down in the middle of New City. Be prepared to see this little town square area a lot. They come here from time travel a lot. But Sonic picks up a newspaper. It says Daily Sorry on it, by the way. And, yeah, it's the exact same day they left.
Conveniently.
And, now Sonic has to go to the train canyon because reasons?
Still chasing after Eggman, and Eggman is there, I think.
I guess. I don't remember how he found out.
He was on the train, but I don't remember how.
Okay, yeah. Because he just seems to go for no reason.
This whole area, they just go in circles chasing Elise. It's very annoying.
I mean, Sonic's story in general is just kind of that.
Yeah.
Before we go to the train, though, you need to get another upgrade.
Yes, we have to buy this game's version of the bounce blade.
Right.
The bounce blade.
Bounce bracelet?
The bounce blaylet.
The blab
blaylet.
Yeah.
Blow.
The bounce.
Oh no.
The bounce seller. Anyway, yes, you buy that, and wow, the bounce is slow in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah, I've
really.
never-
Well, it's that you can't really move around when using it as part of it,
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't really utilize the bounce outside of the one time that you absolutely need to use it.
which is getting through this vent to get into the train station.
Yeah.
I actually do think that the bounce is relatively useful in this game because if you use it on enemies with health bars, it actually shreds through them because it turns Sonic's entire body into a hitbox.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I will have
Yeah.
to keep that in mind.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me, and that was kind of a revelation. That made those fights a lot easier.
Yeah.
When I got the bounce bracelet, I instantly felt dread because I was like, oh no, the bounce attack is in this game. You know what's also in this game? The light speed dash, which means bouncing instead of light speed dashing is back. This definitely happened to me multiple times.
Oh yes, and I seriously considered when I was on this. I was like, do I just turn on the little patch that moves the light dash to the Y button? And I told myself, no, you're getting the Sonic 06 experience.
I can't believe, I mean, I can actually very much so believe they didn't fix that. But you'd think that was something they would have been aware of from Adventure 2.
Oh, I'm sure
Well, you'd
Yuji
think
Naka was
so.
aware of it, but he's Yuji Naka, and he is very married to the as few buttons as possible ideology.
Yeah, the single button ideology.
Which does work in some cases, but you can't make a fast action
sure.
game with a context sensitive thing like that. Especially when this
Yeah.
game's detection for the light speed dash is not great on the face of it.
Oh, it's terrible. You said use the light speed dash and Mach speed sections, and well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it doesn't work for me.
Yeah. But yes, we do go into the train station, and that leads us into Radical Train. It is another full stage. It's a level.
Yeah.
Eggman is here. He was waiting for Sonic, I guess, so that he could sabotage the rails in front of some civilian trains to make them explode.
I just can't hate any version of Eggman. Even if the design's terrible, he's still Eggman. And he's still gonna be like, hey, Sonic, shouldn't you save the train instead of chasing after me?
Yep. So that means that this level is sort of a repeating, ticking time clock thing going on where you have to platform until you can reach switches to detonate the bombs before the train hits them. You can detonate them extremely close to the train and it won't do any damage, you just can't run into it.
Well, thank goodness for that, too, because the timing, especially on the last one, is insanely strict.
I don't have a good frame of reference because I'm so familiar with this game, but
Well, every time I got to the last one, it was always right as it was about to hit.
As for the game,
Or just got to your gamer.
maybe, probably
Someone
not though.
has to be here.
I don't think that's true. I think we can actually all be bad.
Perhaps.
As for the gameplay, the level of itself, it's fine, but it's like this is one of those Sonic levels that's made out of entirely 90-degree angles. So it's like you get some very blocky platforming.
That's
Yeah,
an interesting description.
it's not too bad in this
No.
first part,
Yeah.
meaning the whole part with the train. I didn't mind just rushing past the level basically and ignoring everything, because that's what the game told me to do. And I was like, okay, great. I don't have to
I mean,
think
yeah,
about
basically.
even fighting enemies or anything. The one thing I had annoyance with was the conveyor belts, where
Oh god, the conveyor belts were so annoying.
when Sonic jumps, he just comes to a complete stop.
Yeah, that
great.
really that
So
screwed
jarring.
me multiple times.
Yeah, well, and they expect you to do the bounce attack on one rail, which you'd think would move you when you hit the ground, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Not that I really want it to do that now that I'm saying it, but it's just...
No. Oh yeah, I wouldn't want it to do that, but it feels like it should.
Well, and this whole level is questionable physics-wise, because the whole game is obviously questionable physics-wise. It's very funny that this is a level that deals with moving either Sonic or sometimes physics objects on scales in a game where Sonic himself literally has no weight moving through the terrain.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that, okay, they screwed up the rail switching, but at least the homing attack onto rails works fine that I've seen so far, because I had no problems utilizing it in the sections where you need to here.
Has it sent you moving backwards on a rail yet?
Not yet. Maybe I just gotten lucky so far.
Okay. So yeah, first part is fine, but this is one of those levels that has a Mach speed section in it.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Like, okay, so at least unlike the Crisis City one, you don't have to dodge random projectiles, but
That's
this
true.
it's becoming so apparent. Like, how are you supposed to do these sections on the first try? Like, you have to go through it and then die so you can learn where the
Basically,
obstacles are first. There's no way you can
yeah.
react in time the first
No,
time.
yeah, it's kind of these do feel like they're built for you to die a few times in the middle of them to just get a good sense of everything about them.
I think for me the biggest problem in this is the trains that move horizontally in front of you, because you can
Oh,
just
yeah.
land on one of those by mistake and that'll totally throw off your angle.
I can't say that happened to me, but that sounds terrible.
All of this would be massively alleviated, of course, if they let you control your jump angle, which they don't.
Yeah, it would help.
The final section is, I mean, it's still the Mach Speed section, but you have to chase Eggman's train, which has a bunch of, like the cars on it progressively explode as you get closer.
I did not understand how to dodge the explosion.
I think you're supposed to jump over them, but you're committing to a jump always, so it's like, oh god, what if one explodes and you're facing towards the death pit?
I just damage boosted through all of them.
Yeah, basically.
That's kind of the way to do these Mach Speed sections for the most part.
Yeah. So, another kind of up and down level, I suppose.
Like any level that has any ups.
I suppose. So, we're done with Radical Train, which means that, well, there's no cutscene depicting Sonic saving Elise, but this
He
cutscene,
apparently does.
I can never forget Johnny's review of this, because it perfectly echoes my own sentiments. Sonic saves Elise again, but is attacked by Silver again, which is interrupted by Elise getting kidnapped again, but is saved by another hedgehog again.
Yeah, I mean the structure of Sonic's story is very repetitive.
Yeah. Except this time it's not
Yeah.
Amy doing it, it's Sonic's other love interest.
True. Who has it rough because no one can ever recognize them. This time Silver's like, Nephiles!
Yeah.
Oh.
Mephiles, why are you interfering? Shadow's like, I'm not that guy. I don't know why I thought that would be a cool thing to say. It's not.
We gotta have Jason Griffith say it.
We'll go
Yeah.
find him at a con.
If you guys do that, I'm gonna kill you.
What if I go to a Sonic Con and he's there and I make him say that line?
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
gonna do a
Next
violence.
year.
We'll do,
What, you
Kayla
want
and I will do
me
it
to kill
together.
you? You want to
Kayla and
be
I will
dead?
do it together. You'll have to kill us both.
I don't
We'll go
have a
to
problem
Sonic
with that. You're a
Expo,
package deal either way.
The
Oh,
scene that comes after this is
Okay.
really
Moving on.
wild, even more wild than what we were just talking about.
Just moving it along.
Smart.
Because Elise is on like Eggman's ship, the egg carrier, I guess. And it's just like, wow, I really don't like being your prisoner. And then Eggman's like, what? Are you gonna jump? Do you really hate it that much? And she's like, yes. And he's like, what?
Yeah, apparently. Okay, so I'm realizing more and more how stupid the mechanics of the power inside Elise is, because
Oh, yes.
the whole reason that the future is messed up, right, is allegedly because she died and it was released. And we also know that, like, that's part of the reason, you know, never cry, blah blah blah, parental abuse. But she here decides, rather than be with Eggman, it would be better to fucking kill myself.
maybe
Because-
she doesn't.
I don't
Because
think she knows.
She falls backward off the Eggmobile and is clearly surprised when Sonic's here to catch her. So I mean I guess her parents just didn't know, but you know, it's like, Elise, never cry, and also don't die. It's like, and also like that. How long is that playing? What if she dies of natural causes or any other reason? You know, you're just setting up the world to go boom either way.
Clearly,
I don't know.
They have to figure out immortality.
Yeah, maybe they're working on a way to make Elise immortal. They're just not there yet.
Yeah, or throw her into like cryo sleep. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that would work too. Actually, I could see that being a thing.
This woman's life is getting more horrifying by the second. But yes, Sonic does catch her, so she's fine.
Damn.
Yeah, and yeah, she really does say Sonic like she wasn't expecting it, so she was completely serious about killing.
And she was already about to be like, all right, time to die.
But we're not getting away that easy. We have a boss fight. This one is a flying fortress called the Egg Genesis, and no, it is not called the Egg Mega Drive in other regions.
Damn,
Mega
that would have been
Drive?
funny.
Yeah, that would have been great.
But hey, its head looks like an E-Series unit.
Yeah, it
What?
does. That's true. This, at least so far, is probably the most functional boss.
which is
Yeah,
hilarious
oh, it does, yeah.
because it's also the most broken boss.
Oh yeah, it's a really stupid boss.
Well, so let me tell you about this. So you have the boss, right? You know, it fires
Yeah.
missiles, it spawns robots, it has, you know, I don't remember if it uses the laser cannon in Sonic's version.
I think
think
it does.
so, yeah.
Okay,
I think
so
there's
they want you, right, to wait through its attacks, and eventually it'll move its arms down and lower down, and they want you to homing attack up the robots to climb up its arms and do the bounce attack on its head to damage it, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing. Silver fights this boss too, but he fights it in a different way, where he has to throw physics objects at it from beneath it. And the hitbox for Silver's version of the boss
I thought so.
is still active, so when it goes down, you can use the bounce attack and homing attack the bottom of it.
I thought I remembered seeing that somewhere, but I couldn't remember exactly how to do it.
Yeah, which means that you can end the fight way faster, which is what I do
Yeah,
in the video.
you can one cycle the boss super easily.
Interesting. That's actually a very understandable mistake, unlike other mistakes in this game.
No, that mistake does make, for the most part, make sense.
Well, and you could almost sell it as a legit strategy if you played your cards right. I just don't think they did, because this game had a
No.
development time of like a year and a half.
Yeah. I don't think that's legit, but it'd be really funny if it was. They just like, we know you guys just want to get through this fast.
You might be able to figure that out on your own if you play Silver's version first, or just go
And
back to
yeah.
it for some reason. Don't know why
Yeah.
you never revisit something, but but otherwise you wouldn't really encounter that. So I don't really consider that very egregious, and I would not knock that down. I still
No.
think it works fine. I didn't have any trouble
No,
fighting the boss.
yeah.
And for that matter, it actually works better in some ways because the camera actually tracks the boss, thank goodness. The arena is big enough that Sonic's ridiculous speed isn't really an issue. I kind of just did it the way it was intended, and I had no problems. First try, easy.
Also, it has a desperation attack where it tries to fall on you, but that's really easy to dodge.
You can damage
True.
boost that really easily.
Yeah, I think even if it hits you, you can survive.
Yeah, as long as you have one ring, you can just stand there.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. I love it.
So, Sonic and Elise are now in the forest hub world area of Soliana. And hey, what the fuck happened to Knuckles and Tails? Did they just disappear?
Did they not go to the time portal? Are they stuck in the future still?
They
They
I
went
would
with
assume
Sonic.
did.
They went with Sonic.
Yeah.
I guess they just split up for some reason before the
guess.
trains.
Maybe they
Yeah.
weren't fast enough to chase after the train. I don't know.
Well, they gotta
slow as shit
introduce
in gameplay.
Shadow, or no, they already introduced Shadow at that point. Yeah, I don't know.
They just disappeared and reappeared.
There's
I
no
think.
excuse.
Yeah.
Not really, honestly.
Sonic, when talking with Elise, is like, wow, that was a gutsy move. Like, that's the way he describes what Elise just did. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's on
Yeah, I
point.
guess.
Sonic would brush over something like that.
You're pretty
That's
cool
kind of
for
a
trying to
character.
kill yourself.
Yeah, kind of. I do not understand the point of this jungle hub area, though. It's like super small, and you just walk over to the stage. Why is this here?
Did we need
Well.
another hub area?
I mean, this hub world is, you know, how you access multiple stages, so it's part of that. And it's funny, you say
Oh,
it's small,
okay.
and it's like, the part that you traverse for this part is really small because it puts you right next to the stage gate. This is the biggest, stupidest, emptiest hub in the game otherwise.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I was
Yeah.
just surprised because usually the way this game does hub world is you go into hub world and then you have to waste your time figuring out how to get to the stage, and they didn't do that here.
Yeah, you don't have to do a mission or anything, which is nice. You just have to use Elise's barrier to walk on the water to it. But sure hope you didn't decide to go the other way and get lost, because, yeah, it's a big, stupid jungle with nothing to do in it. But instead, let's go to a jungle with something to do in it. Tropical jungle. It's another Elise level.
Yeah, this level is pretty alright, actually.
I like it okay. It's definitely got some of the same broad design going on. I still don't like the hold the right trigger thing, but
Yeah.
you know, it's vibrant. You know, it's got a nice atmosphere to it. Actually, music is not my favorite track in the game, but it fits the jungle vibe, and I guess it's better than
fine.
whatever the hell was going on in Sonic Heroes with the Lost Jungle theme.
Yeah, the music is fine enough. I don't have a huge impression from a lot of the stage themes in this game. A few of them here and there, but not most. I don't mind, again, the Elise mechanics because it just means when you fall off the side of the stage, not always. Sometimes it means that you can save yourself because you can just turn on the shield and then you don't die in the water that's below. So that's
True.
nice.
Is there any water to walk on in the first section, or is it only in the second? I think it's only in the second, yeah.
I guess it's only in the second section, but I never fell down in the first section. I don't know. It was really quite easy for me. The jump rope timing is actually not strict. And just as an added bonus, this level has like a ton of 1-ups, it seems like.
I guess I haven't really paid attention to that.
Yeah, it wouldn't make as big an impression if you had infinite lives. Because this allowed me to stock
True.
up for another stage we'll be getting to.
I keep forgetting whether I did have infinite lives on. I didn't need them either way, but
Well, yeah, I guess if you've played the game enough.
Admittedly, I think I only need them.
yeah,
because I
I'm
started
straighting my time
started
bringing out
acting
the
like
business
an
cards. I'm
idiot.
the real fucking Mr. Worldwide Sonic player who's good at bad games.
That is worthy of praise, honestly.
In a way, I guess, yeah.
See, but I'm bad at a lot of good games, is the thing.
You can't have both. It's a trade-off.
Yeah, I've been getting real frustrated at Kingdom Hearts 2 recently because I'm trying to do all the data organization battles, and some of those fuckers are annoying.
Sonic's dialogue is kind of funny during stages. I like when you go into a cave here, and Sonic immediately says, "We're getting out of this cave."
We're getting out of the cave. Yeah, what?
I mean, that's usually how caves work.
Fuck this cave. Sorry. This
It does feel like he's saying, "I hate this."
yeah, that part or something close to does have one little sign of life, which is nice, which is this little part where you pull back and like bounce off a vine into the sky, which is very cartoonish.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
Elisa's here's a funny thing. Elisa's little yelp that she does is the same between the English and Japanese versions for some reason.
Huh.
That feels like a mistake.
That definitely feels like a mistake, but
And I'm wondering, I had the mod turned on. I didn't check the actual Japanese version of the game. Maybe that's something they forgot. So I don't know if that's actually the Japanese actress or the English Eliza Thornberry saying it.
huh.
Elisa's voiced by Eliza Thornberry, by the way.
I feel like there's been some points in like past Sonic audio or like
I mean,
sound
for
clips
some
that there's
sound
been
effects,
English.
you definitely can.
Well,
Yeah, but even like for voice lines.
well, so Sonic Adventure 2, you had the English actors doing Japanese onomatopoeia. That's where you get
That's where you
Yosh
get
from.
Yosh from, right?
Oh, weird.
It is very strange.
Or Teria.
Yeah, or Orara.
Oh yeah. I was thinking
I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
insert golden win here.
Well, because Giorno does the Mudada, but
I know. Golden Wind's so much more iconic.
oof, that's
What?
we'll have a debate
Hot
about this
take.
sometime.
Hot takes.
I mean, I don't dislike Part 5. Anyway, none of this matters. This is not what we're talking about. Yeah, Tropical Jungle is fine. There's a lot of press the button to jump off the vine in this level, but I guess that's fine. It reminds me of, I guess it is really the Lost Jungle mechanic, except none of these arbitrarily threw me into pits like sometimes Lost Jungle's final section with the alligator does, so I guess that makes it better? I don't know.
Yeah, the vines actually worked for me every time.
Good shit,
I don't
could
think
be
I have
worse.
any problems with the vines.
Alright, well, hey, look, a scene with the good CG happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's almost jarring.
It is actually legitimately jarring, because it's like, why are we doing this right now?
Why
Yeah.
for this specific cutscene?
An important moment.
Oh yeah, how are we gonna ship them if they look like,
Shit.
I was trying to find the right words. I was gonna say, like, clay model abominations, but shit also just works.
I also wanted to say clay model.
Yeah, I'm just straight to the point.
I think Sonic's campaign is the only one that gets 3 good CG scenes.
Damn, the special one.
Actually, now that I'm saying it, I think Shadow and Silver only get 1 each, so, yeah.
Damn, really special.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's like their opening cutscenes, if I remember correctly.
the openings are, but the endings to them aren't, even though the endings to Sonic is. Anyway, none of that matters. Sonic and
Yeah,
Elise,
anyway.
they stop in the forest where the plants and the flowers are real pretty.
There's cherry blossoms.
Yeah, and
Like a scene out of a romance anime.
it really,
Yeah,
they
I
are
wonder why.
laying it on thick here. Yeah.
Really hard. They're really trying.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh my God.
In this bit, right, Elise is like, oh, hanging out with Sonic is fun, and it lets me forget my duties as a princess, because sounds like being a princess isn't that easy. But it's like, oh no, Sonic will be gone when he defeats Eggman, so she gets real sad.
Yeah, Sonic will be gone when he leaves.
Also, my parents are dead. That's probably part of it.
That probably is part of it, but Sonic is more important.
Yeah. And she's like,
Yeah.
my dad told me to never cry no matter what. And it's like, I understand the Solaris thing, but like, let your kids have emotions, asshole. Or better yet, don't shove sleeping time gods into their
That's
balls.
what I was gonna say. Just don't seal a god in your child's brain.
Know the general structure of the story, but not the details. I'll talk about that when we get to that part of the story.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We're spoiling a little bit.
Because there probably was, just I'm not.
Yeah, I
remembering it
feel
right
like
now.
there's probably a contrived reason.
Oh,
where
I'm
it
sure
had to
there
be that
is.
way.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. But here's the thing though. The shot of Elise sleeping on her dad's leg where he says to never cry, here's the thing. This is from before the Solaris incident. So he told her that before that.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. That makes it weirder, but and here's the thing.
That is odd.
Despite everything, when she asks Sonic to don't forget about Soliana if you leave, he's like, okay. And then she nearly does start crying. And it's like, you're this fragile after 10 years?
Ooh.
Okay. I get what they're going for there. She's been made to suppress her emotions, right? And Sonic is the thing that lets her feel again. It doesn't work on me. It's completely diluted though, because A, we see nothing of Elise's life before this incident, and B, you're trying to push your dolls together from different series and make them kiss, and I don't wanna see that.
Yeah, it's not like it's G.I. Joe and Barbie where it makes sense.
What, you've never done that before?
Yeah, come on, Devin.
I didn't even have G.I. Joes as a kid.
You just had Sonic figurines, that's it.
Yeah, you gotta make the Sonic.
I didn't even make
figurines.
those kiss.
No,
You
I was
gotta make
gonna
Sonic
joke
and
about how you
Shadow.
made Barbies and the Sonic character.
Well, if I tried to touch my sister's Barbies, she would punch me. That's not true, but
you know what?
she didn't want me touching them.
That's fair. Well, we gotta get you some Sonic action figures.
I have
Yeah.
Sonic figures now.
We'll work on that.
They're
Make
sitting on my
them
shelf.
fit.
I'm looking right at them. Anyway, what the hell are we talking about?
At least being
Badly
fragile,
written
according to you.
character.
Right,
Badly
yes.
written romance.
Elise's character just doesn't work on me, just because we don't get a sense for why she feels this way about the emotional suppression. We always everybody brings up Helen from Sonic X, but that's a great example because A, she's wheelchair bound, and B, you see that her parents coddle her all the time. So Sonic
Don't really get the same thing with Elise.
taking some time out to show her the
Really?
world. Also, Sonic himself is a cardboard cutout of himself in this game. That's probably part of the problem. And it's annoying, right? Because we know that if Elise cries, that releases Iblis, which means that what Sonic does by making her feel comes across as dangerous and wrong.
I mean, Sonic doesn't know what's going on.
I know.
And hey, as far as we know, it may only affect Soliana. The rest of the world might be fine.
That would be a hilarious reveal if the burnt up future we see, and then we fly out a few hundred miles and it's like, oh, there's regular ass Miami.
Yeah, the rest of the world's perfectly fine. It's just Soliana's hell. At that point, fuck Soliana. Just let it burn.
Yeah, Silver, why are you still here? Just go down to Rio or something.
Yeah, fucking Jesus.
Also, Sonic tells her to smile again because this game. But, so, I guess Sonic takes Elise home off screen? It's like there's a time jump here?
This game has a lot of those when there's not actually time travel involved, ironically.
Yeah. Because now, Elise is back home, Sonic is... I don't know. And the egg carrier is appearing over the castle town. And good god, those human models watching it are ugly.
It gives me vibes of the creepy human models in SA2's CGI cutscenes.
Oh, the little girl.
Mhm.
Not that bad, honestly.
It's not that bad, but it still gives me memories.
I'm always in this scene looking at the guard who does a double take looking at the egg carrier He looks like he should be making like fucking Tim Allen noise. And it's like they didn't. Eggman's not gone. They didn't defeat him. What is going on here? Is my question.
It kind of seems like he's acting like he's never seen the egg carrier before.
Well, and importantly, what did Sonic do? He took Elise home, and where did he go? He didn't beat Eggman.
Sonic is doing fuck all at the moment.
Yeah,
Sonic is doing fuck all for most of this game.
Go get gelato?
I mean,
you know what? That's
he's in
fair.
Italy. It's essentially Italy, right? Maybe he's doing that.
No, it's Venice, but yeah.
It is very strange that Eggman is like, I'm gonna blow up the city unless you surrender, Elise. And then Elise is like, I guess I have no choice. It's not like I'm friends with the hedgehog, who's like the arch nemesis of this dude that I could maybe ask to stop him. Oh well. Anyway, I'll comply.
Yeah. Elise. And they treat this like this is like a big moment of agency that she gives herself up, and it's like,
yeah,
what are we doing here? You have the power inside you that is going to destroy a lot more than just that city if you do that.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
She did it to see Sonic. At this point, it's just attention-seeking behavior.
She's getting kidnapped on purpose so that Sonic will come after her.
Yeah.
That is certainly a take, Kayla.
That would actually be a brilliant twist, honestly.
The emotional manipulation. See, this is the thing. We talked about wanting villain Chris Thorndike back in Sonic X. Now I'm thinking about villain Elise.
Yeah, just
the only way to redeem terribly written characters.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Villains.
Yeah, all the terribly written human companions should all just be villains.
I want to see a cage match, Chris Thorndike and Elise now.
Oh my god!
What a legendary
I want to
battle.
see it.
Maybe they could be. Maybe they could be like a Sonic obsessed power couple. Like age up Chris a little bit.
Oh god!
They have like a toxic relationship. Where both of them sees, like, neither of them cares about each other, but they do help each other and sort of act out the ability of carrying each other because they see qualities of Sonic in each other.
Oh, Jesus.
Incredible.
This is a horrifying idea, and I kind of want it now.
Terrible.
That is
dress up like Sonic.
Potential right there.
Oh god. They're both cosplaying as Sonic Man.
Oh god.
No, they have to plot to kill Sonic Man because he's stealing the thunder.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Sonic Man
away from them.
Sonic Man is Sonic's one true love, obviously.
Yeah.
He's an adult. Sonic's a teenager.
And the ground.
Anyway, the hilarious thing in all of this is that Sonic is not coming to save Elise right now. Now, for some reason, we're playing as Tails, who is just still here.
Yeah, the truth is that this is another case of Tails' disrespect, because Elise did call Sonic and he didn't pick up because he's busy. And then she called Knuckles and he's like got age loud, like, I can't leave. Like, he's actually doing his job for us. Then she called Tails and then she's like, can you help? And Tails is like, yes. And she's like, I don't believe you. Pathetic. And then she gives herself up.
Yeah, that's a better explanation than what we get, because again, what is going on? Where is Sonic? Why is Tails still here? What's going on? And for some reason, Elise's advisor, friend, I don't know who this lady is exactly.
I think advisor, because she's called Lady in Waiting.
Yeah, but she says he needs to save Elise from Eggman now. So now it's up to Tails, I guess.
Only one available.
Damn.
But here's the thing.
A stomach ache from eating the gelato.
Here's the thing, though, is that this is the padding to end all padding in a story that is already mostly just wasting time. Because now we just play Wave Ocean again as Tails.
Yeah.
Chasing the same fucking battleship. You even go through the same section Tails already did in the first playthrough.
Yep, actual. Redoing of actual stuff you've already done. No changes at all.
What? It's
Great.
like, why?
I love video games.
This is the only campaign that does this.
Oh, okay. I was expecting
because of all the stages, they really loved Wave Ocean. They thought we should experience it twice. Once with a significantly worse gameplay.
Like, was there just some mandate?
I actually don't know what you guys are on about. Tails being bad to play. I have no problem with Tails. Tails works.
Oh, I hate Tails.
Like, the ability to just fly over everything, it's like, great, I don't have to play the game.
But he flies for like 3.5 seconds.
I mean,
I can use it to skip large sections really easily if I'm just careful.
it's not that his flying is useless. It's just that he feels so much worse than like Sonic Adventure 1 Tails.
Yeah, I mean, they're slower, but honestly, I have no problem whenever I play Tails in this game. It's like me taking a break, basically.
I don't know. I hate his combat as well. The dummy rings just
Yeah.
don't.
The
Okay,
dummy
I
ring
mean,
bombs
Yeah,
the
are
it's
game
annoying.
combat
as fuck.
enemy.
lagging when you use a dummy ring is annoying, but I'm used to the lag at this point.
I don't like the targeting on it either, and I don't. It's just clutter. And I'm just thinking, compared to like, imagine if he had the Sonic Adventure 1 rhythm badge. You know, it's like that would be fun to use against enemies in this game.
Okay, like you're saying that Tails is worse than Tails in Sonic Adventure. Like, yeah, this whole game is worse than Sonic Adventure. That's a given. But compared to other characters, I think Tails is actually pretty fine in this
Fair
game.
enough.
No.
Fair enough. He's not
guess, yeah.
unplayably broken, but I
Yeah,
still
I'd
don't
rather be
like
playing as
this.
Sonic.
Like, I'm just saying they're better than Sonic. They're better than Knuckles. I'm fine with Tails.
I don't know, but
Okay.
yeah, blatant padding. So some mandate saying that
True.
Sonic's campaign needed to be one level
Yeah.
longer than the others. I don't know. And the padding doesn't even stop there, because Eggman has Elise on board the ship again and just re-explains his entire plan. We already saw that at the time travel lab, but he just does it again. We don't learn any new.
Yeah, he just
information.
explains the plan again.
He has a great line though at the start of this scene where he says to Elise, "You've wasted so much of my time," and I'm just like, "Bro, same."
That's the whole game.
Basically.
Yeah, so it's really weird. You could remove the Tails hub world, the Tails level, and this cutscene, and absolutely nothing about this story would change. Hell, Eggman says we're heading for a Chaos Emerald, and that doesn't happen. There's nothing in this story about that. So dumb section. And here's the thing, now Tails is back in Castletown with Sonic like nothing even happened.
As you said.
What happened?
It's
does
really
feel like
feeling
something's
like
missing here.
Yeah, it's really feeling like they started panicking while writing this part of the story, and they're just fucking up.
Yeah.
Like, maybe
Something
there
was
was
taken out of the game. Like there was supposed to be more here.
Yeah, maybe
exactly.
Maybe
Like,
maybe this ended up being longer than they wanted it to be, so they started cutting shit out.
Yeah, I mean this game
Yeah.
obviously
Then
just
why
had
keep the tail section?
giant chunks of removed
I don't
content.
know.
So maybe the Tails section wasn't planned and they just threw it there because they needed something there.
They cut too much stuff out and panicked and started putting stuff back in.
Did you guys know that Metal
Maybe.
Sonic was originally supposed to be in this game? I have no idea what role he would serve in the story, but
Yeah, what the hell would he even do?
that's interesting.
I don't know.
I had the cursed idea. Maybe he's the one that keeps kidnapping. At least, like, yeah, it's Eggman, but Eggman keeps sending Metal Sonic after.
Oh yes,
both of them.
we'll start kidnap. We'll just keep constantly kidnapping, at least using Metal Sonic. Okay.
I mean, he's fast.
I mean,
makes
maybe
sense.
that would have been
Yeah,
what you
no,
do,
doesn't
is that
it-
you have Sonic and
doesn't not
Tails
make
split
sense.
up. Maybe Tails' like Wave Ocean would lead to a boss fight where like he deals with Metal Sonic while Sonic goes after Elise or something.
Yeah,
I
I very much
guess.
suspect that they were going to explain why Sonic was gone, and then they cut that part.
Probably.
Anywho, we're back in Castletown either way, and we're supposed to go to the old ancient Soliana Castle, which is in the forest area, but you don't know exactly how to get there, so you have to just like talk to people until they tell you, yeah, this old priest standing by the fountain is the way.
Yeah, you gotta bumblefuck around a little bit.
Yeah, I had enough with this game shenanigans and decided every time I go to a hub world, if it's not immediately obvious where I'm going, I'm looking it up instantly.
That is totally.
Yeah, well, because even if you know which guy you're supposed to talk to, the Castletown layout, like all of the hub worlds, it's too big and it's too, like, the geometry is too repetitive. You don't exactly know where you are. There's not a good amount of landmarks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember whenever I got kicked out of Radical Training because I ran out of lives, I was like, okay, wait, where's the station again? I eventually figured out the path, but yeah, it's hard navigating around here.
Yeah.
Not a lot of landmarks, really.
Yeah. And
At
what-
this part,
No, good.
At this part, you unlock some more gems, which, whoo-wee, I didn't realize the gems in this game were so useful. There is a red gem
Yep.
here that you unlock that is so busted. It lets you slow down time, which makes enemies react super slowly to you and makes them trivial.
Yep, and that's a good thing to
Yeah.
have for the upcoming section. And of course, let's
True.
let's reestablish, by the way, that all of the gem upgrades for Sonic's custom shoes, they were coded wrong, and so the energy meter just doesn't go down. You can just use them infinitely.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I assume it would have probably recharged when you weren't using it. Like
Yeah,
it works
I would
with
assume
Lisa's
so,
shield. Depending on how long it lasts. If it lasts as long as Lisa's shield, it probably still would have been very useful. But yeah, that makes it just busted.
Yeah.
but the old guy, one more thing about the old guy, completely unintuitive placement because he's at one end of the map. The door that leads from Castletown to the forest is on the other side of the map from him. That was the other reason that I got lost. But yeah, the old guy, you talk to him and he takes you to this rock plinth stone area that is in front of the huge canyon of Soliana Castle, which is kind of cool looking, honestly. But these are the trials of Soliana, everyone. The other fuck this game doesn't have autosave moment of Sonic's campaign.
I save after I do anything in this game.
Honestly,
Good, I told you to.
You probably should just be saving every moment you can.
Well, I
Yeah.
learned after getting a game over the first time.
There.
Yeah, this is the worst hub worlds wasting your time by far. I mean, you can count these as stages, I guess, but they're kind of gimmicky, so not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do 3 missions here, meaning 12 loading screens, and
Gotta keep count.
and if you forget to save and get a game over, you have to do them all over again. There's a lot to save, which happened to me on multiple playthroughs. I learned my lesson by this point, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I got a game over once and was like, I had to start all over, and I was like, I should
Ooh.
probably save in between. So
Yeah.
it's a one-time mistake, luckily.
Especially since time consuming. It's you get you die on the second one or something, and you have to redo the first one. The first one is so stupid. It's just trial and error. Jump through these portals until you get the right ones.
Oh god, yeah. That was
Everyone
real
loves-
fun.
That was
The
fun,
warp
wasn't
mazes
it?
are great. Yes.
I mean, it's fine once you know which one's which, but it's still just it's mostly just time consuming problems.
I don't think it's good even if you do know which one's which, because here's the thing: when you go through the portal, the camera just swings all over the place, so you're going to be disoriented and not remember which one is which.
Mind you, I said fine, not good.
I hate it either way, and I never remember which is which. If I had memorized which portal is which, maybe, but no. They should have color-coded the portals so that you could at least tell which one you were jumping in.
They could have made any logic to it at all. It's the test of intelligence, but actually it plays like the test of endurance.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. So, fuck that. But hey, the second test is fight these enemies with 0 rings, also known as...
Oh no, I do not miss that from the classic games.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah, don't you love the Game Gear boss battles?
God.
So terrible.
Well, this is the trivialize the game with the red gem mission.
I'm really bad, so I still died like twice, even with the red gem, but I probably would have been way worse without it.
Yeah.
I only died once.
Hey,
Good for you.
I think I died once, so that's...
Also. I think I only died once also.
Yeah, it's... Well, because this game's jank, so it'll happen at some point in one way or another.
Sure, yeah.
But
I
man...
didn't use any of the gems. I
Hey,
never use any of the gems.
Hey,
You're a real gamer.
good skills then, yeah. God gamer Kayla.
Yeah.
Look, the enemy that has like the rotating missiles around it that attract your homing attack is really annoying to deal with. I hate that.
That
one.
is so annoying.
Yeah, that was just going... I still have bad memories of losing all my lives here and going through all the loading screens both ways. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, when you die even once, not game overing, in the test of courage, there's a loading screen, and then the guy says, you failed. And then it loads again, and then you can retry it. Extra loading screens.
Yeah.
It's a punishment.
Yeah.
Well, at least we have some reprieve with the final trial, the test of love, where... Is this going on inside Sonic's head?
It's a good question.
Oh, yeah.
I guess
I
it
can
must
only
be.
assume so.
Well, yeah,
'Cause-
it has to be.
At this point, Amy and Elise both show up, asking you to choose which one you love. So, let me ask, before we say anything, which one did you guys pick first?
I think I picked Amy.
Yeah, I picked Amy.
I picked Elise because I thought that's what the game wanted you to pick.
Oh,
this
I would
Okay.
entire
assume
time.
that, yeah.
So
I
that
did
is
not remember that you're fine picking either, so I just like panicked and was just like, well, the game is obviously pushing these two. I don't agree with it, but here we go.
Well, in a
so-
perfect world,
See-
I would pick neither and have Sonic jump into the water. But
So-
there's no
same.
water.
Same.
so that's that's the two experiences with this. Either you spitefully run for Amy first, not caring whether it makes you win or lose, or you pick Elise because you think you'll lose if you don't.
Right.
But in
Where's
truth,
Shadow?
either one is Knuckles.
God.
Yeah.
No,
Where's those
the bottomless pit.
Those are Sonic's 3 options in reality.
Why
Shadow,
can't you
Knuckles,
choose the
or the
asexual
bottomless
flag?
pit. That's the bottomless pit.
Yeah, that's the bottomless pit. Say
I don't
fuck
like the
it.
implication that asexuals should die.
No, I'm not saying.
No, it's the implication that this is stupid.
But it is stupid. But
It is
It's
really
pretty
stupid.
funny though, honestly. I like that the game is really trying so hard. That's like, oh, this is gonna be Sonic's hardest test, and the little touch where you can go into the portal for wood, but then you could talk to the guy. It's like, are you sure? You can be like, no, and then you can actually change your mind and go to the other one.
it's so weird. Like, I feel it's. I'm gonna use the word pretentious almost, because it's like there's no gameplay purpose here. It's all narrative, which is so funny because it just means that the game has so much confidence in its own terrible writing.
I would love to see like a poll to see how many people actually choose Elise.
It really feels like Elise is a really bad self-insert.
Oh,
that
she's
makes any
Mary
sense.
Sue.
I don't know. Mary Sue is quite the right term because Mary Sues are usually like overpowered in some way, but Elise
No,
is
they
like
are, yeah.
almost there. She's so close to being.
You know, the writer clearly wanted to date Sonic.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think that
I don't think
Elise is them. Well, I heard somebody saying that they were trying to do Tidus and Yuna from Final Fantasy X
Really?
with this. Yeah, but
Interesting. Okay.
I haven't played that game, so I don't know.
I've never played it either.
I've never played any Final Fantasy game, which feels like a crime.
But
I played Final Fantasy
I'm sure you'll
15.
fix it sometime.
I played Final Fantasy 15. Is that good enough?
That counts.
Sure. What's
I
the one with Cloud and Sephiroth?
That's
seven.
seven.
It's the only one I've played.
Okay,
It's
I was
good.
gonna say I feel like 7 would be like the.
It's
one to
it's 7.
play.
It's 7. It was the first Final Fantasy game.
That's
Ah,
right.
yes.
Just like Persona 3 is the first Persona game.
anyway, yeah, it's so strange that they do this. And it's like I chose Amy out of spite because, like it or not, and a little emphasis on not, I still think she'd be better for him than Elise because at least she's fun.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
logic. Was which makes more sense? Unfortunately, Amy does make more sense, but
Elise
neither
is
of them
so
make sense.
fragile.
Yeah, mine was I don't want to be here, so I want to get this over with quickly.
Yeah, and it is also funny because, like Kayla said, this game really builds up Elise. Amy, up to this point, she saved Sonic once, but like if you imagine being a new player starting with this game, you probably wouldn't make it to
What
this
a
point because it
terrible
sucks.
experience.
Yeah, God, that's gonna turn you off from the entire franchise.
But you're not gonna have a really strong impression that Amy and Sonic are even that much of an item because she only showed up once and was just mostly helpful.
Hell, you may not even have a so strong impression of Elise because she's Elise.
Well, sure, but she's been on screen a lot.
I
Anyway.
guess.
Anyway, so you do whichever one you do, and that finally opens the way to the old castle. I like huge castle walls and structures. It kind of gives me Dark Souls vibes. And I also like how the game holds the middle finger up to you, where you had all these trials so that this eagle would come down to lift you to the stage gate, and then when you get up there, Tails is just waiting for you anyway. You just flew up there.
Yeah.
Why didn't you
Feels
just
the real
fly Sonic
depth
up
of the
there?
story.
That's true.
Sonic's too heavy.
Sonic 2 exists.
And 3 and
Yeah.
Mania.
Well, modern Sonic is too heavy.
We put on
Gotcha.
weight.
Yeah, he got taller. That's true.
Okay,
He's
but
weighed down by the burden.
He's weighed
Oh,
down by
Of
the third
course,
dimension.
that's it.
the emotional weight is too heavy. Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
Tails is like, I can't do Tails'
You
voice right
gotta,
now. Never mind.
you gotta handle this on your own, Sonic.
Yeah. Well, and apparently that is what he says, because Sonic goes into the stage gate and Tails just disappears for most of the until the very next stage. Characters pop in and out of this story like bad writing. I don't know. I didn't have an analogy.
Yes, that's right. You got it.
It's bad writing. Good job.
Yeah, it's just bad writing.
Yeah. So, Sonic gets cornered by some robots, but this time Silver steps in and saves him.
Yep, they're friends now.
Apparently.
For some reason.
Things have changed, he says, and it's like, why?
When?
I'm sure it's part of his story. I'm very used to
It is
Sonic
part of his
games
story.
having story elements from different plot lines that
So-
you're like, okay, you'll see that later.
Yeah.
I would say yes, but I would also say that previous multi-campaign Sonic games did a better job of not confusing the player so much.
They really did. For the most
mean-
part, they did.
If you're only ranking like how the stories cross over and not the story itself, maybe. I don't know. There were problems in
Well,
the other games too.
I'm thinking, like, in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, there was never a moment where a character's motivation changed off-screen, and that was something that you would be confused by in Sonic's campaign. I don't think so,
Best
at
of
least.
those.
Maybe Knuckles in Sonic's story? No,
I
not
guess,
really.
but you kind of assume that Knuckles is just, I don't know.
An idiot.
Well, yes, but no. Anyway,
Yeah.
but we're going to save the princess together now. So we are working together here in Kingdom Valley. We marketed this game around this level.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't really get why, but yeah, they did.
I mean, it's a big fuck off canyon that is made out of castle, so it's cool looking.
It is a big fuck off.
You don't like the stage, do you?
Yeah, I hate
12
the stage. It
12
is
fucking
terrible.
minutes.
It
I
is
thought
so
the stage was
long.
good.
12 minutes.
I like it in Project 06.
This is not Project
I like
06,
it. I like
No,
it
it's
in
not.
Shadow Generations.
not Shadow Generations either. This is the original version.
I
from
like
original
the
Yeah.
shows and
I like the
06
portion of
version.
this that's used for the XBLA demo, which is just the first part.
Yeah, actually, I must admit, when I played the first part of the stage, I was like, huh, okay,
It's
yeah, this
fine.
is fine. I'm doing fine. And then
The
it
first
kept
part
going.
is fine. Yep,
going.
it keeps going. It keeps going, and then forces you to play as a different character again.
Yeah.
That was actually fine, but we'll get there in a
Oh,
minute.
I hated that part.
Well,
I
so
hated it.
So for the first Sonic section, you know, it's like, I like the music, I like the visuals. It has, you know, sort of this sweeping, spiraling vibe. You start high up and you get lower and lower down, which has a, you know, a feel of building tension. And, you know, there's lots of little secrets. There's lots of broad design, like we've been praising through both these videos, I suppose. You do
Yeah.
cool stuff like breaking the bridge by hitting a robot into it, because that opens a path, but you can also go down underneath.
Like the grind rails where it just keeps bouncing you between springs and the game plays itself for a while. What I don't like is light speed.
Yep.
This is where I started to have troubles where they just weren't activating, and also this
Yeah.
is when bounce attack instead of light speed dash happened.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know if we've talked about wall running in this game. It's completely weightless, so there is one part where you can run up a wall and just Sonic can infinitely run up into the skybox, or the ceiling at least.
That sounds amazing.
There is a part of the end that happened to me but that's at the very end of this stage.
I think I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, first section's all right, and you leave on the eagle from before, but yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be with Bruce on this one. This stage makes one of the worst decisions in the game, where you get to the second part and you have to play as Silver, which I think is just on
A
principle.
stupid idea.
Well, so I just think on principle it's a bad idea, because if you want to play as Silver, Silver has a whole fucking campaign for that.
Yeah, the idea of shoving Silver in your face during what is ostensibly, not even ostensibly, it is going to be the first campaign you play, because I think you have to finish Sonic's campaign to unlock the other two, right?
You don't have to finish it, but you do
Oh,
have
you
to
have to
play it
start
first.
it.
But here's the thing.
So, yeah.
Even if they were going to do that, even if I was okay with it, Silver is the worst possible choice for this, because he's the one with the most complicated and different gameplay.
Yeah, I guess if they wanted you to play someone else, Shadow would have made more sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna kind of agree with Devin. It's like, yeah, it's a little jarring to
No,
suddenly switch
yeah,
from like
no,
Sonic's
exactly.
fast-paced gameplay with some platforming question mark to
To,
suddenly Silver.
to Silver's like physics sandbox gameplay.
So I agree with everything you're saying, and I would also add that I don't like that it's in the middle of this stage. Put it somewhere else so it doesn't lengthen this
Yeah,
really long stage. I do have one problem with the actual content of Silver's section. Otherwise, I liked this because it was a small taste of Silver's gameplay, which I know I will hate by the end of Silver's campaign. However, I never played a Silver until this part. I hadn't played that part of 06. So it got me a chance to just try it out and mess around with it. And I didn't hate it. In fact, it was like a change of pace. And I was like, good, something new and interesting. And it was actually really fun. I liked, in this part of the game at least, playing as Silver. Throwing stuff around is great.
well, I also had problems. Just I didn't like it. Throwing stuff felt very.
I think we're
Janky?
more on the same page. I get what Lauren is saying. I do
Oh
think
no,
that
I understand what
doing that,
Lauren is saying. I think
that what I would
for
have
the most
done
part on the same page all here.
if I had to do this, I would have still, if I had to do this, I would have done it, but I would have made it just easier. Just because for me, I felt like the jank of it was too much to get into, especially the first time round. So like, just have there be no death pits. I think would be the way that I'd do it.
Yeah.
If it weren't for that, I would be more okay with it.
I did find a silly little level skip. Well, kind of level skip with Silver. There's a part where you're supposed to go onto one of the symbols and use his power to lift up some boxes. And I guess the idea was that you're supposed to jump through a window, but I couldn't get Silver to jump high enough to do that. And I accidentally guided him towards some stairs that was like at the the bottom part of a tower.
Oh,
And
you can
it
just go
suddenly
around
jumped
that
to
last
Sonic.
building.
Yeah, it just jumped to Sonic. I'm like, I did not know you could do that.
Oh, you just hit the trigger for it, did you?
That's hilarious.
Damn,
That's funny.
alright.
Yeah, the one problem I have with the content of this section is there's a long stretch over the water that you just barely can reach using the psychokinesis flight. And I legit at first didn't think it was possible until I'm like, how are you supposed to do this? And I looked it up, I'm like, really now? And I was like, okay, I guess if you do it from that angle and you just conserve your energy correctly, you can barely make it.
Yeah.
That didn't work for me. Otherwise, yeah, it was great. As I said, it's just very satisfying to toss stuff at enemies. You can even pick up the missiles that enemies hit, which is great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had so much problems with getting that to actually work.
I think we should probably save the deeper discussion of Silver's gameplay for his playthrough.
Yeah, of course.
But it's right here, and it's in the game, and they're putting it here. So we
can
talk about it here.
Yeah, we have to talk about all of Silver's gameplay right now, so we don't do it next
That's
week.
right. We got to get the positivity out of the way.
I'm not making this
positive.
video any longer than it needs to be. I think we understand our position for right now. And it's especially ironic, right? Because you start Sonic in this section and you end Sonic leaving this section. So if you just deleted this map from the game, you would just go between Sonic's part of the levels, and you would not even miss a thing.
Yeah, I don't really understand why Silver's section is even here, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely random.
It's to lend a sense of narrative cohesion, which is hilarious because this narrative has none. But
yeah,
the second Sonic half is similar to the first, but it has more light dashing, more homing attack chains, more combat, which is it's not as good as the first part.
True.
Yeah.
I'm also extremely weirded about there's this extremely slow spring jump over a tower for no reason moment, and it really just goes to show this game's gravity is way too low.
Yeah.
Everything feels floaty. But you do more fights, you do more jumping, you do more grinding on wind.
Sure.
My favorite.
It's a Windy Valley follow-up, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
But Sonic ends with a bunch of enemies attacking him, but Silver says, no, go on ahead, I'll fight them. It's not actually that many enemies, but whatever. And yeah, so Sonic does go on ahead, leading into our final Mach Speed section of the game.
Thank God.
Which I call the look upon his creations and weep moment, because
Yeah, basically.
You can so clearly see how the devs wanted this to be the coolest thing in the world. You have the fucking Red Sea being parted to your right and left, like Moses himself blessed your journey, and
Moses
the music
launched his Beyblade.
and the music has this ethereal pounding forward quality, and there's all this castle architecture peeking out of the flooded area. So
There's
it
rainbows.
yeah, it looks cool as shit. Too bad it's this gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
I-
like
Yeah.
10 seconds of this looks awesome, and then the rest was misery.
When I first played 06 back on PS3, this is the section I got stuck on. I could not beat this part of Sonic's story. And at that point, I had completed Shadow Story and I had completed Silver Story. Sonic was the only one I had not finished. Yeah, so beating this level in its entirety was such a relief for me because it was like,
It's
oh, I can
cathartic.
actually finish the game.
Yeah, it's cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. This totally seems like something I couldn't beat.
Oh yeah,
I played
no,
the
I
game
could.
when I was younger.
Yeah, I could
Um,
100% imagine getting stuck here.
Yeah, I mean this section is it's not like the rest of the level doesn't have problems, but this section at the very end makes it all it's the opposite of the icing on the cake. It's what tips the scales and makes it Crisis City is probably still worse, but it's very close, I must say, to the misery I felt playing Crisis City. This Mach Speed section, you're forcing to do the whole timing with the jumping over obstacles, because if you miss, you'll just fall in a pit now. No damage boosting this time. And this is where you have the weird wall running on the water. It's like I'm trying to control Sonic, and the game is like, no, Sonic is going up now. And I'm like, no, he's gonna go down.
Yes.
The game's like, nope, he's going into
Yes.
the stratosphere now.
It
I
changes.
couldn't figure. I
Did
couldn't
you have
figure.
the same problem?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds like we
so-
did.
Kayla and I were watching Bruce as he did this, and we were like, "How is that happening? Is there something wrong with Bruce's controller?" No, what it is
I thought
that
there was something wrong with my controller.
as Sonic tilts and runs along the wall, it changes your control stick from moving Sonic forward if you're holding forward to moving Sonic turning
Up and
up if you move
down.
forward.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that at first. So I was doing what I normally do.
Yeah, and I think Kayla and I are both in the realm of, you know, if we're not actively adjusting Sonic's trajectory, we're not touching the stick. So we were thinking, is he
Also-
having some kind of stick drift or something?
That's what I was worried about. And well, to be fair, also, I didn't know that holding forward on the control stick made Sonic run faster
Yeah.
during the Mach Speed sections. So I've been doing all of those while holding down the control stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I game over went through this entire stage I think twice before realizing what was wrong there.
I
And
think
that-
I probably died like 5 or 6 times, so I get the feeling.
Yeah, and it had not clicked that was how the wall running controls work until this part when I had to figure it out because otherwise you just die.
Yeah.
Well, because that's not how they work in other plots. You know, so I was talking about how you can run right up the wall because Sonic has no weight in the main section. But I'm pretty sure if you're running along a wall in the main section, forward still moves you in the direction of the camera, and you only start running upward if you go right in that section. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's the case.
Honestly, now that they say that, maybe it is different here, and maybe that's why I got thrown off. I don't really know. This game is jank.
Yeah. There's no good answer. So,
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
yeah, shame about that. At least this section did make it into Shadow Generations and is good there.
Oh no, it's Shadow Generation.
It's
Well, Shadow
just a good game.
Generations it's just
Yeah.
based.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Shadow.
Anywho, we are finally reaching toward the climax of this plot, if you can call it that, wherein Eggman's ship is crashing. Why?
Good.
No,
Oh,
really,
yeah.
why?
I assume it'll be explained later because it
Nope.
really seems like the game is hiding that because Eggman is literally like, "What? Why is it crashing? what's
No.
going on? I don't get it."
Yeah,
No,
Eggman
there's-
seems
Slight
confused.
spoilers. I don't think it ever explains it.
Nope,
It was
there's no
probably cut.
explanation. It's just crashing. He just says the engines are malfunctioning. It's like, that's it. That's all you get. You just did a bad job making it because no. This is what it is. It's because this isn't Eggman. This is Greg.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is Greg.
Right.
man.
Yeah, Greg.
He
can't
did
probably
a
answer.
worse job. In SA1, the ship crashed because you blew off the left wing. Here it's just happening.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe Mephiles was just like secretly messing with stuff.
Well, you know what? Sure.
Yeah.
He just appears. It's like that bit in fucking Skypiea where Sanji kicks the shit out of the mechanisms in the Ark, and Eneru's like, "Why are we crashing?" Anyway, One Piece joke. Hey, remember how the first stage in this game was completely pointless, and so was like the fifth or sixth one? Hey,
Yeah.
here's another stage where we accomplish absolutely nothing.
Of course.
Now, it's not completely irrelevant, but the heroes just completely fail. Eggman's ship crashes far, far away from Sonic, meaning he never would have caught it either way.
Damn.
Imagine being the fastest thing alive, but being able to catch up.
Imagine being someone at
Sonic
SEGA and
nerfs
saying, all right,
himself.
Eggman and Elise die.
Yeah. You see this character that we spent hours making? Yeah, she's gonna die.
Yeah, it's really funny, actually. When I was writing my notes here, I said something about how Elise was apparently dead, and then I had to edit it because I realized, oh no, she is actually dead. But there's another thing they're gonna do to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God, I hate Jason's delivery when he goes, Elise! It's so bad.
Half the voice acting kind of sounds like they're drunk in this game.
Who knows? Maybe they were.
I wouldn't blame them.
Somebody had to have been drinking on a development this troubled.
Oh God, yes.
Jason's just like, oh god, here we go. Cracks
It's the
open a
only way
bottle
I
of Jack Daniels.
I think I mostly meant on the Sonic Team side of things, but
The Sonic team was definitely chugging the like 2-liter bottles of Japanese whiskey.
Oh, I was gonna say, what's the really popular one in Japan right now? It's like something zero.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it's called. I just know you
hold
can
on.
buy like 2-liter bottles of like really nice Japanese whiskey in Japan. It's kind of insane.
The sad expression that's on Sonic's face in this cutscene is legendarily bad. It's right up
It
there with some of
is.
the SA1 expressions.
It's strong
Yeah, it
zero.
is.
That's what it is.
I like the SA1 expressions. The problem with this game is that the faces are gross to look at.
So the SA1 expressions, they're silly looking because the faces are so over animated.
Yeah, if this game dared to be fucking cartoony intentionally in its art style, it probably would have been fine, but it's not.
Yeah.
Which I think is the problem. It tried to be a realistic, but it's like you got a giant blue talking hedgehog. Like you can't do that.
I do sometimes think, like, if this game had different art direction, would Sonic not have been as slow?
Probably, honestly.
Well, it's possible, because it's possible that they thought, like, it has to look realistic so he can't be moving that fast.
I feel like, I mean, maybe I can't really talk because this was well before I was playing video games, but I feel like that is just kind of like the games of that time, you know?
Well,
They
yes,
had to be like realistic and gritty.
yes.
Yeah.
It's the gray and brown.
Oh, it was
era.
definitely trend chasing, yeah.
Okay.
It was the gray and brown era.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Like I
Anyway.
said, this is well before I was playing games.
Anywho, so Elise and Eggman are dead, and Sonic slams his hand on the ground because it's a normal reaction to watching someone die. And Silver's like, dude, we have time travel. And he's like, oh yeah. So it's time to do Back to the Future. We're gonna go back in time to save her. How do you know that's where the portal's gonna? I don't know. I already complained about that.
They willed it.
Yeah, so now we're gonna start rewriting time in this game. I really expected this to backfire somehow, but spoilers, this actually just works fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works perfectly fucking.
Also, Sonic, Blaze, either of you two want to acknowledge each other's existence? No?
No. No.
No.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot Blaze was here.
Because she
Blaze
might as well
basically
not
does
be.
nothing. She basically does nothing in this story.
She barely does anything in Silver's, honestly.
Fair.
Anyway, Sonic says, if
Anyway,
I'm successful, then that should help save your future, too. You don't know that,
No.
Sonic.
I mean that's also just bullshit.
Yeah.
That is complete BS. That's not unless time travel. Oh, actually, yeah, no, that's just complete BS.
Anywho, Sonic arrives in the past in Town Square again by not much time. I don't know exactly how. Shouldn't he go back way further? Wouldn't that? I don't know.
Oh,
No, he's smart. He knows you can't be too reckless.
I guess, but
that's implying that they have any level of control over the.
That is also possible. Yeah, you just can't choose.
either way, he's gonna make a break for the hangar where Eggman's ship is, but not before we have to ring some fucking bells.
Which Kayla convinced me that was on a time was like you had a time limit you had to ring them in.
Okay, listen. When I did it, it seemed like there was a time limit because, like, I swear I hit all the bells and nothing happened in the game, so I had to redo it, and then the gate opened up.
It's not just you. Same thing happened to me. I think they are on a time limit, and you're just
Oh,
really
then
good, Bruce.
damn. Okay, because I feel like I did like I got to between them like really badly.
It's because I
I
was guiding him.
see. Here's the thing: it could be a
You
time
have
limit.
asleep for most of the time.
It could be a time limit, or it could just be that the hit detection is dog shit and it didn't count, one or more of the times that you hit them.
I mean, that's definitely possible.
Maybe, but I heard them, make the noise.
Well, so that's the thing. Yeah, every
All right.
time I did it, I had to do it 3 times because I died 2 times after hitting all 3 of them.
I forgot
So-
about that.
Yeah, I constantly jump into water by accident in the overworld.
It's because Sonic needs a bath.
We're not going to go more into that comment.
Why do you have to ring bells to open a secret underwater laboratory?
That's a good question.
I don't know, but at this point, I don't care.
Fair.
Because this game, after that last stage, I've reached the point where I'm like, no, I don't care about experiencing this game as they thought you were going to experience it, but except with bugs and stuff too. I am not against skipping things now. It is time. So I go to the shop, and there's one upgrade that I knew about, and I'm like, yes, it's unlocked. Purple gem, you are mine.
Oh, the purple gem. Yeah, I never bothered grabbing it.
So did you use that to cheat your way in? What?
No. I did use it to find all the bells. That was really nice. But it's too slow to bring them in time.
Okay.
No, I'm saying I grabbed this with the full intention of abusing it for the next stage.
All right, and fair enough.
Okay.
This country fucking sucks. But yes, this does lead us to Aquatic Base, the final level in Sonic's campaign. And hey, Tails and Knuckles are just here? Sonic talks to them at the start, and you have to play as both of them. So where have they been? Like, did Tails like leave during Kingdom Valley to come do this?
Good question.
And also, where was Knuckles?
Also a good question.
He was rapping about being in the secret underground laboratory.
That's gotta be it.
I don't have a better explanation. But yes, Aquatic Base, also known as Aquatic Hallway, is the most linear level in the game. And it's... I mean, I used to say it was one of my least favorites because it was just kind of boring. I can't say that in great faith because it's not the most annoying or unplayable level. I don't like it, though.
Oh, I can say that's one of my least favorite because it is.
That is a perfectly valid opinion, maybe even a correct opinion. It is a bad stage, just like this game. However,
Yeah.
At this point, I was just zoning out, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go through this, abusing my purple gem, and I'll just feel the vibes of the music, which the music is nice and calm. It's very fitting for an ocean base. So yeah, I just kind of drifted through this stage, not caring about playing the game at all, and it was.
Yeah, you see, I didn't do that, and I pain.
No, but that's valid.
That is valid. That's totally valid.
There is rooms full of like mercury on the floor and like metal balls which you hit into enemies, and like magnets
really weird.
that magnetize them to hit enemies, which is, I don't know what kind of experiments they were doing with mercury here. Feels like having that close to the ocean, like you're gonna get it in the water supply, people are gonna get brain damage.
Maybe that's the problem with
as
Soledad.
Eggman once said, that wouldn't be a problem. That would be a bonus. Like, although wait, this wasn't Eggman's base. I forgot about that. That was
No, this
was
isn't
fully on a research story, wasn't it?
Yeah, Eggman
Um,
commandeered
you
it, I
know.
think.
I forgot about that. Yeah, okay, I don't know. That's kind of odd. You're right.
They weren't thinking about it at the time. That's why they were studying the mercury. They wanted to know the effects of it.
God.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
God.
This was my first time actually playing through this level, so yeah, I went in completely blind. I don't really remember struggling though. Again, this is just I've come to the conclusion that the entirety of Sonic's campaign for me is just a whole lot of nothing. Like, the levels are okay, the story, but I'm just like, this is the most boring Oz Sonic game I've ever played.
I mean,
I mean, if you're not paying attention, I suppose that's true. But if you are, I have to disagree.
well, so it's the thing. Story-wise, at least, Sonic's campaign has little to no purpose.
Yeah, Sonic is the least important part of his own the game named after him.
Damn, it's Sonic X all over again.
A little bit. I called this Sonic X game for a reason, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far with regards to aquatic base because it also has, you have to play as Tails in the section with the most combat.
Oh god, the Tails
Oh
section.
god, I forgot.
Actually,
about
you know
that.
what? Kayla kept telling me to dive bomb the enemies, and I sniped all of them just out of spite, mostly. So that was funny.
Is this a
It's
lover's
easier
quarrel
to
I'm
snipe
witnessing?
them.
No,
Funny.
no, I just did it out of spite because I can.
Yeah, now that is mitigated. There is a part, I'm thinking of the big pit room with like the suspended platforms on it, where you can just fly over to the side of the laser gate and to the end you can just skip stuff. But
Yeah, the Tails section was kind of long and tedious, but I was like half asleep at this point, so just like wake me when it's over, calmly going finding every little enemy.
yeah. There's also a Knuckles section where you have to hit exactly one switch, which I guess is better than the one from Flame Core, because there you
This
had to hit
Knuckles
5.
section, yeah, this was Knuckles section was fine because I just glided over everything.
Yeah,
without
no,
switching
Knuckles
one.
section was perfectly fine.
Yeah, I would say the standout like moments in this level are the floating metal ball sections.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Well,
Right.
actually, I didn't dislike it too much. I just took me a few tries to really get the hang of it.
I tried it one time to see if it was bad, died, and was like, it's bad, I'm not doing this.
Purple Gem. Yep. It's just the lack of friction and the fact that it's really kind of hard to judge your position with the laser gates, and if they even graze it, it's just gone. So I do
like the windows that give you the view of the ocean. It's nice. And
That's
pretty.
neat.
can see Echo the Dolphin through them.
I wonder if that was the intention.
Probably not. There's multiple dolphins and none of them have stars on their head. I love the second section theme because it's like the first one is kind of tranquil. The second one is really pulse pounding and it sort of sells the urgency and desperation of the situation. It's really the only reason this bore of a stage feels like a final level.
I'm gonna be honest. I started zoning out on the music like halfway through Sonic's stage or through Sonic's story.
Well, I recommend you listen to
I've
Section
listened to
2
the game's
Aquatic Base.
soundtrack before. It has a good soundtrack. I just think this entire story just started getting to be too much of a pain in the ass.
Maybe.
I mean, that's just true. But yes, I agree, Devin. The music is...
No, the music is good. I do know the music.
All right.
I learned for the first time in this game that it has like score ratings like the adventure games, because at one part when I destroyed a bunch of enemies it said radical, and I'm like, oh, that can happen.
Goes to show it's hard to reward style in a game that has none.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But that is it for Sonic's levels.
Not it for Sonic's story though.
Nope, not just yet. Sonic makes it onto Eggman's ship as it's launching. Why does an underwater base have a ship hangar? Whatever. Sonic.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sonic breaks into the control room, gets Elise, and fun fact, this is the only time in the game that Sonic speaks a single word to Eggman.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wild.
And that should just go to show how boring this game's version of Sonic is. It's very bad. He doesn't taunt Eggman. He doesn't even really say them. He just says like, "We're getting out of here" or whatever. I think, I don't quite remember. There are some people who dead ass are constantly saying like, "Oh, 06 has the best characterizations of the entire cast," and it's like, "Wow, fuck you."
That is certainly a take.
I mean,
Ugh.
no.
Yeah. Final boss time, the Egg Wyvern.
It's Egg Viper.
Plays a lot like Egg Viper, doesn't it?
With a
It's
dash
bad.
of Egg
It's-
Cerberus in there.
It's bad, just like Egg Viper also.
Okay, I actually like Egg Viper though, but this ain't it, Chief.
Oh, I mean, I hate Egg Viper just because
I mixed feelings on Egg Viper, generally negative feelings on this.
To start
yeah,
though, I
this
will
is pretty
say
poopy.
Eggman's robots aren't really very Eggman-y in this game, but if you're gonna have the sort of more less colorful, more robotic looking, straightforward sort of robot design, at least with this one, I'd kind of dig the design here. It looks pretty cool.
Honestly, this is the only one to me that almost resembles an Eggman robot.
I mean, it's the only Eggman mech you fight that has Eggman in it.
Well, that
Okay,
helps a lot.
yeah, that helps, but I'm thinking more like it's at least got some color. It's got some red on it.
Well, and it looks
Mm.
like an animal, and not
Yeah,
in the
it's
way that Egg
vaguely
Cerberus does.
animal. Oh, and I do like also that it keeps the wyvern look, but also the somewhat realistic look with the fans in the wings. I like
Mhm.
this is probably the only Eggman robot I legitimately like the look of.
There's a little bit
Yeah,
of Egg Hawk
definitely.
from Heroes in there, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
The music is just like a remix of the regular Eggman boss theme.
Yes.
And I don't know what they did with it. It just sounds like a cacophony. It's a mess. I do not like this theme.
It is
I
kind
wonder
of
if that was
messy.
maybe the point though, because I feel like Eggman's kind of losing it at this point. You know, his ship
Oh,
is
he's
malfunctioning
panicking.
for no reason. Yeah, it's just like that's his panic music.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I
Well, they should have
guess.
saved that.
it's his crash out music.
They should
Yeah,
have saved that
exactly.
for Unleashed then, because that's my favorite thing from Unleashed into like Colors is Eggman getting progressively more and more upset when you beat him.
Oh, I miss those.
I
But
do appreciate that.
yeah, I guess I'll have to
pretty fun.
re-listen to the music because I haven't noticed that. But yeah. So mechanically, you wait for it to charge at you while you dodge its really slow attacks. And you homing attack it mid-charge to grab its control rod, just like with the first boss. Why does it have a control rod? Eggman is piloting it.
I gotta say also, it was it took me like 5 or 6 tries to realize I had the homing attack. I just kept jumping.
Oh, you fool. Jumping
So
doesn't
the-
do anything
I
to
think I
enemies in this game.
told you to
Yeah.
No,
hold
you,
me attack
no,
on it.
you initially just said jump, and
I
it worked
said
the
I
first
think you
time.
have.
I must have
Oh,
I must have I must have done a homing attack the first time without realizing it.
and then the
So
second time it didn't work, so I said, "Oh, maybe you have to homing attack it."
this game's homing attack sucks. So
Not as much
Hmm.
as this game's jumping.
oh, I mean
Yeah, the
yeah,
homing
Yeah.
attack
it's
kind
also
of mostly
terrible.
works in this game, except when it doesn't. But
Um,
more than often than I'd expect, honestly.
Yeah,
It kind of mostly works, except when it doesn't, describes a lot of this game's mechanics.
But once I realized the homing attack was the way to go, this part of the fight became a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, getting on isn't so much the problem. My problem is that you have RNG to deal with, because
Oh yeah.
rather than walls and
yeah.
statues, you have to steer the boss into falling debris from the ship.
Okay, I hated that because half the time my controls seemed like they just weren't working.
What
I think
controls
that's
terribly.
because I think that's because the boss is like resisting your movement, but I didn't
Well,
understand how to consistently move around. in this
Yeah, I
game.
could not get any consistent contact with the falling debris.
Yeah. Side note, why is there a floating platform under Eggman's ship?
What?
Eggman was ready for a boss fight.
I
That
guess
is
so.
100% the case.
Oh, excuse me, it's Greg.
Sorry, correct. Anyhow, I
Yeah.
mean, he's doing a good job in his Eggman impression here.
Yeah,
though,
his
I must
cosplay
say.
is doing good here.
At least in Final Egg, you could argue that that's like some scaffolding attached to the tower. There's no attachment here.
Again, Eggman and Greg was just prepared for a fight. He
Yeah,
wanted
to
a fight.
point out, I was like, "Why did we go from the control room to this random platform underneath?"
Yeah,
the
you
ship?"
did.
Imagine the conversation like, okay, I'm Sonic. I'm trying to set this up. You want
Hey,
a
give me a
floating
second.
platform maybe here? Oh, here. Can you position it so that if I grab hold of your mech, I can fly it into the falling debris? Yeah, sure. Let me just set that up.
Yep, they
You're a
worked it out
genius,
in
hedgehog.
advance.
That's Greg's
Um,
voice, by the way.
Yes.
I was gonna say, why does Greg sound like he's drunk?
He might be.
Actually, you know what? That would explain a lot.
If
Oh,
The
you-
one who was drinking on Sonic Team. during this
Actually, I
episode.
did
Yes.
I did forget to mention in the cutscene before this, when Eggman gets upset, he does like this little tantrum, and he does like a stanky leg animation
Oh yeah.
where he's going, damn it.
And if
Uh,
anyone's doubting that Eggman really is just, sort of allowing Sonic to attack them during this fight, after you ram him into debris, he'll start switching it up, and he'll do a thing that's very much like the Egg Viper, where he'll open his cockpit and then be like,
Yeah.
"Can you make it over here, Sonic? Do it!"
Yeah,
And then of course, you attack him.
it's almost verbatim the exact same line. See if you can get through here, Sonic.
Yep.
In fact, I bet in Japanese it is literally the same, and it just got translated a little different. Also, why would you bring that as like in Egg Viper? That's like the first phase thing, because he's like, "Look at how great my machine is. You can't beat this." But here he's bringing it out in the second phase, which means that like He's doing that after he already knows Sonic is a threat to it.
Remember, this is an Eggman. This is Greg. Greg is clearly not the competent villain.
Greg just
Yeah, it's
explains all of the actions Eggman takes in this game, of course.
No, this is Greg doing a very good impression. I think.
Well, it's a no. Oh yeah,
Greg would do.
no. Greg knows his Eggman impression, but like that's all he's doing. It's just an
You
impression.
can't justify it. I tried.
no.
I gave up trying to justify it long ago. This is just the way they operate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in any case, it's still really easy to hit him that way, and it's like, yes, he's destroying more of the platforms. It doesn't even feel like a challenge most of the time.
Well, because the way the platform is shaped really weird. In Egg Viper, it was just a long stretch, and then it got shorter
Yeah.
and shorter. But here, it's like a square, and then there are like these offshoots on the side, which why would you ever go over there? Because then you have less room to dodge, and he destroys those first, so it's not even a problem until it starts really destroying the center.
Well, and that's the
Well,
thing is that with
I found it annoying that it does seem sometimes that he just destroys random platforms.
Well, and that's the thing is that with Egg
But-
Viper, you had the lasers to dodge, and it's best to either run or jump to dodge those.
Sure.
And so when he did destroy the platforms, that gave you less and less room for that.
Right.
But here it's like, does he fire missiles, lasers? You can see them coming in any case, and it's really easy to dodge.
yeah.
Oh, they're
Um,
so easy to dodge because you see
it's-
like they
yeah.
like target places, and then there's like
Yeah.
a solid 3 seconds, and then they shoot. And it's trivial.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes from the old Sonic Shorts compilations is when Sonic has like a bazillion rings and he's like, "Hey Eggman, hit me, I can take it." And Eggman is like, "Really? Okay." And then he shoots like a foot to the left of Sonic's shoe and he says, "Oh, sorry, force of habit." But yeah, and yeah.
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 So yeah, like the Egg Viper, he does end on a desperation attack. Except this one is stupid, because with the Egg Viper, you're never quite certain which platform segment he's going to hit, so you feel a little bit of tension, a little bit of uncertainty, which you can argue is maybe not great design, because you've been fighting the boss for like 5 minutes at that point, and dying to that sucks. But in this case, he just charges directly at you, so you gotta hit him, but you were already doing that in the first hits.
I mean, I don't mind a final desperation attack being the same as the rest of the fight. It shouldn't be a mix-up because then that's kind of unfair.
I mean, yes, but it's like, it's not an escalation, is it?
That's fine. I mean, it's the game. Yeah, I suppose there's some merit to that, but like the fight wasn't really that tense to begin with.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not much of a climax. What is, though, is the very best thing about this boss, which is that when you beat him, Eggman gets ejected from his crappy, bland, ugly Eggmobile, and he's like clutching his head. He just cannot believe. Greg is dumbfounded. He cannot believe that Sonic beat him. And his static model floats off into the distance, spinning in completely random directions like a fucking Gmod animation.
It does look like a Gmod animation. I
The
love
best
it.
part, he hits his head against a piece of like the ship or something like that.
Oh damn, Greg
So
got
he
brain
like falls
damage.
backwards, hits his head, and then goes spinning off.
God.
Amazing.
Yeah,
The
that's
extra
beautiful.
icing is, of course, that he throws in. I can't believe this as he's flying off as well.
Oh yeah. No, there's a bunch of really good like animations in this game if you pay close attention to it.
I just wish that they looked good in general.
Oh, I mean good like funny,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not quality.
Not
Yeah,
exactly.
they're funny.
Yes. But, dear fucking Christ, that is the end of Sonic's gameplay.
Thank God,
Holy
am I right?
crap.
Yes. So we are done Sonic's campaign. We get another good CG scene where Sonic and Elise jump off the crashing ship and almost die, but they don't.
Yeah, because an explosion doesn't kill them for no reason. Instead, blast
Yep.
them upwards.
No, they
It's-
definitely
um,
got like whiplash, broken
Oh,
back,
they got whiplash.
cracked heads. Like
On the
I'm
one
pretty sure
hand,
I'm pretty sure you can actually see Elise hit her head at least one spot.
on the one hand, I actually like this bit because it's a moment of fucking expressiveness to have them jump and reach and do the epic shot, and then they fall and then they get blown up anyway. That's it. that is an intentional joke that I think is funny. On the other hand, that shockwave is gonna fucking hemorrhage your organs.
Yeah, no, they should still be dead.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
Sonic might be fine because Sonic's like a force of nature or something. But yeah,
No,
Elise,
no,
they
no,
had
that-
rings.
no.
It's fine.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, they both
Sonic
did.
had rings. He's good.
well, hold on. They have the Elise shield.
Elise
Oh,
Shield
maybe,
does
but that
jack
doesn't
shit.
protect from damage.
Okay, well,
Maybe they ride the shockwave of the explosion like standing on the water. I don't know.
It gets sand, it gets water, and it gets explosion.
yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, so they're okay. They land on the other cliffside, and Jason Griffith breaks out his weird fucking witch cackle as they both laugh about it.
He's just like me for real.
It's so weird hearing him go.
This chipmunk laugh.
I
God.
guess I don't know. It's so weird. Does he laugh like that in real life?
I doubt it.
We'll go find him and make him laugh.
What was the thing earlier tonight you said you were gonna do to him?
Oh,
You're gonna
I'm
make him say that line.
Yeah, I'm
So-
gonna have to rewatch this episode so I can remember what the line is. But yeah,
Tickle him while he does it.
Ooh, God, that's creepy.
I'm
I'm
not
now
gonna
in
do it.
favor of this so that you guys get arrested for publicly harassing a guy.
That second part was not in the original stipulation. Not a
No, it was
requirement for the
not.
record.
That's just Devin projecting, I think.
Indeed.
Anyway, Elise smiles and Sonic goes, "Nice smile."
And then
Okay, Sonic.
wings.
That's creepy.
Sonic became a fuckboy.
God!
I'll see myself out. Bye.
The game sure will. We end off with the credits and a remix of Sweet Dreams, which is the song that is used as the basis for Sonic 2's ending theme. Problem is the remix is by Akon. It fucking sucks. I don't like this song.
I was so checked out. I don't even know if I think I skipped the credits.
I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, I think I just like kind of spaced out at that point. I was just like, oh, thank God I finished Sonic's
Yeah,
campaign.
I was so checked out of this game by this point, which is great. That's great for the rest. That's great for the rest of this entire game.
We're only a third of the way through.
Yeah, I'm already checked out. Let's go.
What to say about this? This has so
It
much
exists, and I don't want
Sonic's
to play it
campaign.
ever
My
again.
gosh, there's so much bullshit.
Yeah, if I ever want to play it again, I guess I'll just play Project 06.
Good.
Yeah.
I think that's the only take
It's
here.
actually really funny. Whenever I'm Googling help for this game, Project 06 keeps flooding the results.
Because who wants to
should be a
play the
sign.
original? The
Plenty of people.
okay, I mean yes, but like, were it not for the boss battles and cutscenes and hub worlds, all of which are not good, but you could argue that they're a part of, you know, a cohesive playthrough. But
Pull up the cutscenes on YouTube.
if Project 06 got those, nobody would bother emulating it.
You'd still
that's
find the
fair.
fucking weirdos that insist on you have to experience the original game.
That's who I'm calling nobody.
We're
Oh,
nobody
damn.
then, apparently.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, I
Yep.
wanted to play on original hardware.
We're
I was originally
nobodies.
gonna play on original
Get me in there,
hardware.
Organization 13. My nobody name is Vinxded.
Nintendo.
Vixned. I don't remember how to spell my own name with an X in it. Point is,
Okay.
there's a lot of stupid missions. There's an entire level and cutscene replaying content we already did for no reason. Elise gets kidnapped 4 times. That's our lucky counter with all those dings.
I was gonna say, is that is that a record for how many kidnappings in one game?
Possibly. I haven't played that many games, but I can't think of more.
Well, I mean Sonic, not just games.
Resident Evil 4, I guess, but that's a gameplay mechanic, so I don't think that counts.
It's also not a Sonic game.
Yeah, he
Well,
was.
you
just
didn't say
sticking with the
Sonic.
Sonic games.
I said Sonic games
Corrected
afterwards.
it afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't listen because why would I listen?
My
to you?
favorite Sonic game, Resident Evil 4.
I mean, there's got to be mods that you can in that, right?
And he gives Leon a fucking Sonic train.
Chris is voiced by Roger Craig Smith in 5 and 6.
All right, there we go.
All right, there you go.
Well, close enough.
Anyway, the story is bad. Sonic is just the errand boy dealing with Eggman while the actual plot happens to Shadow and Silver. And Sonic and Eggman are both kind of lame in this game, at least compared to their other selves. I know Lauren is always one to note good Eggman lines, but he's still not great on the whole, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Well,
Oh, yeah, he's weaker, but he's not completely obliterated, I'm happy to say.
Admittedly, though, I think you only brought up like maybe 1 or 2 lines, and they were all last episode. I don't think you mentioned anything this episode.
He
You
got one in
mentioned
there.
a couple.
Radical
Yeah,
Train.
when
Oh,
yeah,
right.
the radical
Yeah.
train moment, and it
I
was
must
at
have
least
zoned out
funny
for a
for him
split
to.
second.
Yeah, no, but by and large, totally true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sonic and Elise make terrible character interactions. I think part of what bothers me is that Sonic is supposed to shy away from like romance stuff like we see with Amy. Why is he willing to lead her affections on? It's just weird. It's just a big step down from what I traditionally expect from a Sonic Adventure style of gameplay, I guess.
That's a good way to describe it, yeah.
There are some shining diamonds in the rough. There is some legitimately good level design. There is plenty of good music, but it's really hard to appreciate because of everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I like Kingdom Valley. I think it's got a really interesting design to it. Wave Ocean is very reminiscent of Emerald Coast, so I'm like, there's a little bit of nostalgia there. But yeah, it's just like the overall mechanics of the game and how Sonic is controlled. And the Mach speed levels, I'm just like, fuck all that.
So I think that's the fun stages in this game all feel reminiscent of other stages that are more fun. So just go play those stages. You don't ever have to really play this game other than maybe once.
Yeah. If anything, I'm just really glad that Crisis City and Kingdom Valley made it into better games.
Yeah, like I said, Kingdom Valley definitely has a good design to it, so I'm glad it did get like a second chance in a sense.
And that's the worst part, is that, in my opinion, gameplay-wise, this janky, poorly paced mess is far and away the most fun story campaign.
Interesting.
So yeah, get ready for the rest of that. Maybe you guys will differ. You know, Lauren was not immediately hating Silver, so I'd be interested if he ends up liking Silver's campaign. I'm guessing
I'm curious about that.
I'm guessing it'll have enough time to wear him out, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm wondering if my opinion will. Like I mentioned earlier, I've already beaten like Shadow and Silver's campaign previously, but that was 14, 15-ish years ago. So maybe playing back through them, you know, I'll change my mind.
You know, I don't have a terrible impression of this so far for some reason. Like, bad, but not terrible. There's a distinction there. I had to really think about it. Because I'm like, what makes the difference between this campaign and like the other games I've really hated? Like, why do I really, really hate Sonic Heroes, and yet this I'm just like, no, it's bad, but it's not like the worst thing in the universe. Sonic Heroes feels bland. This game, you said, oh, it's a lot of nothing, and kind of. As I'm going through Sonic's campaign, I can see that they're trying. It does feel like they're trying in this game. So for that, it's interesting. The execution is terrible, of course. I just want to see how it's going to sort of fall apart. And I can always see what they're going for, even if it fails every time. Well, most of the time. Most every time.
It's very intricate dog shit.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
very intricate.
It's an interesting game. I just think at some point I had crashed out because of Crisis City, and at that point was just like, I just want this to be over with.
Just on autopilot, kind of.
Yeah, I think I was just kind of on autopilot, which is why, like, a lot of times when I'm looking back at, like, what I did play through, I'm like, there was nothing super noteworthy. It was a Sonic game.
Yeah, I think that was kind of me. I started playing this game on autopilot at a point.
And true to form, I do think that Shadow's campaign specifically has the best narrative elements of this game. I would even say that there are some moments of writing in Shadow's campaign that are good.
But we'll save that for some other time.
Yes, that is unfortunately not going to be next time on Deep Dive Zone, because next time on Deep Dive Zone, we are continuing with this game, starting with the first half of Silver the Hedgehog's story. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, we're done with
Can you do that in Knuckles voice?
I think.
Not technically. Not technically.
Okay, are we gonna have him? I'm probably at the end, but
yes,
not before then, I imagine.
Not until the final story. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, all of that will be good fun to sort of see and recontextualize. But for right now, that is where we are going to end off tonight. Thank you to my 3 wonderful co-hosts for being here, for making this playthrough as funny and stupid as it is. Thank you to our viewers for sticking with us through this game. It's a hell of a journey, but I'm enjoying it so far. So if you like this video, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. We will see you next week for another exciting episode. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and take care.